Hello, BookTube. It's Tag Tuesday, and I have one of the most iconic BookTube tags ever created. This is the Victorian literature tag. This has been around for years, and I'm so excited to finally do it because I've seen this tag evolve and change over the many years, and I'm excited because I get to do it. Now, this is based off the Shakespeare Journey tag, which I forgot to do in September, and it left my mind. I sat down to film right here and I just remembered that, and I feel devastated myself for not doing it. But Shakespeare will be around by next September, so I'll do it then. But this is a tag that was created by Ros at Scally Dandy and About the Books and Tilly at Tilly Shelf, so credit goes to them. And I'm excited because this victober is my seventh victober. I wasn't there from the very start, but this isn't my first one, so I'm very excited, and it really Victober really represents my teenage years because I'm only 22. So I started do the maths, or I can't even do the maths right now. But so I've been doing Victober for a long time, and so this tag is really fun for me. So let's start. Question one: what was your first experience reading Victorian lit, and how was it? I started like probably like 15 or whatever. My first one was Dracula. I started off with Dracula because it was assigned in schools, and then I done Jekyll and Hyde. I done Sherlock. I never really got into like the kids, like classics like Alice in Wonderland or Peter Rabbit or Edward Lear. I just didn't grow up with it, and so I never had that much of an experience with those books. But those for Jekyll and Hyde and Dracula were my first, and Sherlock. And then my first proper like adult-ish novel was Great Expectations by Mr. Dickens, and that was the first book that really showed me. Just because it's a classic doesn't mean that it's great. And I was really let down by. I still am let down by Great Expectations. It just lets me down. I know, but then I was like, I need to discover some of the girlies. And through BookTube, I discovered Gaskell. I read North and South, and it changed my life. I read Middlemarch right after that, changed my life. And I eventually got to Hardy and Anthony Trollope and pretty much every major Victorian writer, like novelist, because I haven't done much of the poets like your Brownings and Arnolds, and that's really like a name off the top of my head. But like all playwrights, like I've mainly really just sticked to the novels, and I'm kind of shocked by that. Two, has the reading of a Victorian book ever brought you to tears? If so, tell us more. I've cried to a couple, obviously got Middlemarch, but there's some weird ones in there. Like I randomly cried at the end of Adam Bede, and I don't. The thing is, I don't care about the first half of Adam Bede, but when the trial comes in and what it's about, I was just crying at work and listening to it, and it. I don't know why. And then I cried to Ruth by Elizabeth Gaskell. I don't know why. It's one of the most like driest Victorian books like literally ever. But I don't know, for some reason Ruth's story just got to me really. And so those are like the main ones that come to the top of my head. I've never cried to Dickens or Hardy. No way. Three, are there any people who have played a significant role in your Victorian lit journey? There's been mostly two, and that's Katie at Books and Things. You know, I don't need to say anything. It's Katie from Books and Things and Jennifer from Jennifer Brooks. Those two women have showed me the lights when it comes to Victorian lit, and they've literally showed me to every single Victorian author, and I thank them so much for that because that really impacted me. So those are like my main two. Um, Four, do you have a favorite film or TV adaptation of a Victorian book? What about, oh my god, I can't read. What about one you'd like to see be made? Now, I am a weirdo. I have never seen an adaptation of a Victorian story, of a Victorian novel or whatever. I just don't watch TV. I've never seen an Austen adaptation. I've only known the books. I've never seen a Dickens adaptation. And so I don't have any recommendations because I've never seen one. And that's mostly because I just rather read. In terms of one I'd love to see be made. Now, I'm sure this has been made, and I just feel it in my gut it has been made, but it's Mary Barton by Elizabeth Gaskell, one of the great Victorian novels, in my opinion. It's such a, oh my god, I love Mary Barton. But that's the one I would love to see a film of. Five. Which character in Victorian literature most represents you or you identify with the most? I don't really think about these questions that much. I'm just gonna say Dorothea Brooke because that's like my go-to girl. I love her so much. Six. Do you have a favorite moment, scene, or line in Victorian lit? Tell us about it or read it. In terms of a moment, I'm gonna have to go to Jane Eyre when Jane's bedroom floods and oh my god, Rochester takes off his jacket, his I can't remember what it was, but gives it to her. That's like that changed me. That shaped me into the person I am. That's so romantic, and I love that scene so much. In terms of a line, I don't have any in particular, but I'm gonna say when in all of Hardy's novels, and I've read all of Hardy's novels, any scene when he describes nature, that's my favorite. Like the open, like I'm gonna say, the iconic opening to Return of the Native. That's mine. I don't have it with me right now. So that's gonna be my like favorite one. But any time Hardy writes about nature is just it's too much, and I just love it so much. It's so like romantic in its writing. Um, Seven. Does any Victorian book intimidate you? If so, what and why? Um, I'm not really imitated. I'd say like The Egoist by George Meredith, just because I've heard it for so long, and it's just mostly books I'm surprised I haven't got to yet. But in terms of intimidation or whatever, nah, I'm fine with the Victorians. Eight. What tips would you give to someone early on in their Victorian lit journey? I would say don't worry about the size of the book because they do get big, and I think stick maybe check out some stories like maybe Jekyll and Hyde or Dracula or Sherlock, and be prepared for a very slow pace of a Victorian book, and also if the if a book has the title of a person, don't expect them to be in the book for literally the first 100 pages. So those are like my main tips, and just have fun. You'll know these stories. Nine. What is your top recommended read for other readers of Victorian lit? Um, I could go a couple ways. I could give you like The Woman in White, but I'm very basic with my recommendations. I'm not gonna give you any like rare ones. The Woman in White, I think it's fun. I would. I'm one of those. I love George Eliot, so I'm gonna say Romola. It's her doing historical fiction in the Middle Ages. It's got church politics in the background, and I love it so much. I know it's like boring and dry, but I love George Eliot. I could throw in any of her books. You got Daniel Deronda. You can take that too, and those are like my main ones. You can do The Mill on the Floss. That's iconic, but pretty much any. I'm gonna say Romola. Why not? So if you haven't read Romola, please do because it's one of my favorite books ever. And 10, tag others. I'm not going to tag anyone in particular because this tag has been around for many, many, many years. And it's Victober, so do it. It's one of the great tags. So yeah, I'm so excited. That was me doing the Victorian lit tag. And yeah, thank you so much for watching BookTube, and I will see you next time.